Probably Roux is creative, man. Like, yeah, to be honest, I understand that, like it's the music that was the ticket that got like a lot of people actually like talking about me. But I don't know how to feel when people are considering me as a rapper, you know. I don't think I'm a rapper, man, and I don't have a problem with rapping. Yeah, boy, like that's what I do. I love it. I was raised by hip hop and everything, but I think I'm more than that. Yeah.
Okay, I would say Enigma is an ordinary girl with big dreams and ambitions, and would like to actually consider myself as just a girl next door that you can, relate to. So with me, what you see is what you get, and that is basically Enigma. What I do a lot of things that actually involve artistry. I do music, I paint, I draw. I used to do theater, host, presenter. So those are the things that I do, basically.
I got involved, or at least I was exposed to hip-hop music around 1980. I'm also one of the founder members of POC, that's Prophets of the City, BVK, the Beat Bangers, and there's so many other components. So I've been working in television, radio, media. I grew up in a community that was driven by music. So I started off as a DJ in my pre-teens. I used to play for soccer and netball clubs in our area in Mitchell's Plain, and getting involved with hip hop culture and developing my skills through that. That's when I came up as an underdog, challenging the biggest names in the country, in South Africa. That is. I won my championship titles, my South African Techniques DMC championship titles, and from there everything just started to fall in place.
So my grandfather was a musician, and my grandmother was a musician. So at home we would sing, and people would think that there's an event or something happening. So it's something that I grew up with. It's just that I took a different route in terms of genre that I'm doing. But it's something that I was born into within my family.
I never looked at all the OGs as people who never made it because of how they made us feel. We was really drawn to them, and to us, like, they were successful, you know. That what success was, to have their music, you know, like playing everywhere and having like the impact they had at the time. But I don't think they never made it, you know, because of what they made. Like, I'm made by them. I'm made by your Red Taxis. I'm made by your Trimanska, Backyard, Voice to Voice, Nugilike, Mangateni, including like Osanik, Laperto. Like, I was also listening to those Bruce Opavarotti, from Elengene Strand, you know, like they were like, come on, like, yeah, like, did I mention Eleno Pizzo because he's the GOAT, right?
There's just too many people to mention with regards to being inspirations. I was fortunate enough to grow up with a whole broad, genres of should I say, like a whole variety of music. It was all different types of genres, everything from the traditional music that we were exposed to from Cape Town City, jazz, reggae music, disco, funk, soul, all of those things. And then there was an old school DJ from back in the day. He was one of the biggest names in Cape Town. His name was DJ Superfly. He was kind of like a mega star back in the day. I was, of course, inspired by him. So the first hip-hop I was exposed to was Rapper's Delight by the Shoegill Gang, Curtis Blow, everything from Run DMC to Public Enemy, Ice Cube. And, through the eras, it just continues. Then you get into the Drake era, you get into the Snoop Dogg era, the Supernatural era, the Nas era, and the list goes on and on.
I used to be very close to my uncle. And my uncle loved Spaza. Yeah. So I was like this, like the enthusiasm. So wherever he was, I was there. So he's the one who actually introduced me to Spaza music, listening to Order Taxi, Pizzo, Kanye, Mike Substance. And I was like, okay, I like what I'm actually hearing. And also back in the days, before I rap, I was actually doing slam poetry.
I think the passion, for the music and the culture and being prepared to go out there and express yourself, that's definitely a common thread that runs, through the various generations. And also if you are invested in hip-hop culture and not just one aspect, such as rap music only, I think that you won't have any limitations that will kind of hold you back or hold you down.
First of all, the mission, because I believe that each and every artist in Cape Town, we all have one mission. That is actually to put, Cape Town into the map and make sure that right now we are starting our own thing. And back in the days, in order for an artist to become a confidence or to make it big in the industry, you had to go to Johannesburg. But now we are finding that thing and making sure that Cape Town has its own industry.
Common traits between the OGs and the new school. Yo, we're so different, dog. We are a different generation. We see life like from a different lens, and we approach it like, come on, like with a different manner. Those jets, they want to battle. When they get with you on a song, they want to kill you on the song. You get me? Like right now, we want to compliment the song. I don't think anything we're doing like is really new. We might be doing it better. Kailicha culture, welcome to culture. Nwekilike wanted to sacrifice his own mother, dog, to Illuminati because she was broke. You get me? Like saying Funimaliam, Xeandazu Timandenzijan, Funimalia. And that song, Big Amashonis, man. Those are our stories. That was explicit.
All the way evolve and whatnot, but now I'm old school because I still want to fuse the lyricism in my art. You understand? So that's when I said let's take it back to the 90s. Alright, so that's where the whole element and the music actually is a fusion of old school and the new school, because I grew up between both of those eras. To be honest with you, I believe if we can all put our egos aside and then understand the main goal. But I've already seen that actually happening. I mean, with especially with the Dreamer's is one of they are iconic, they're legends, and they try by all means to make sure that they actually collab with upcoming artists. So
when do I think is the right time to use the ego? When it's healthy. I understand, go back and say like imagine, like it's a natural thing to have an ego. We, like it's in our nature. But I just think like we should be like really calculative about it, like make it make sense.
We toured most of Europe. We were based in London. We toured Europe, Scandinavia, West, East Europe, and we were out there rapping and performing in our mother tongues. And people fed off the energy, because it came from a place of sincerity. It also came from a place of good intent as well. So for us personally, we had success with that, performing all the way up in Denmark or performing in Norway where people can barely speak English, let alone the dialects that we speak here in South Africa. We also had two MCs rapping and singing in Xhosa, Sotho, Zulu and Tswana as well. And the audiences were really receptive to that. So with the new generation rapping in the languages, I think and in the dialects, I think it's a good thing.
Iconic moments and events. Yeah, I think the biggest one was me being on the Hype magazine cover. I think that was crazy. Before the album drops. Also being like on the billboards nationwide. That also like really spoke to me. GQ magazine also spoke to me. I think the first event was also like really like talking to me, man. Come Alive with Bravo Leroux. That was really crazy. That's like one of the shows I will never like forget. It doesn't matter how many like shows we do or how big we do them, but like the first show we actually did with the live band was like like really crazy, man.
Okay, so the first one, it was in October. And I was an opening act for Yana Chife, surprising opening act. So that was like a huge moment for me. And I would say last year, when I was also performing in Maboneng Festival in Johannesburg, so that was like, you go. So I would say those two, yeah. And also, one of my biggest dreams was to actually perform with a band, and I managed to actually do that last year, Selective Live. So also one of top notch. I want to be remembered as someone who was honest, hardworking, and open-minded to understand, to actually collaborate with, whether you're doing R&B, whether you're doing Afrobeats, whether you're doing hip hop. What I believe as an artist, that we can able to tap into any genre as a whole, even though hip hop is my first love.
I want to be regarded as somebody who made it, man, like out of all the odds, in a city where there's not enough black successful stories. When I told my mom this is what I wanted to do, she asked me to look around and tell me who's successful of this thing. Every time when you look around, there's not enough successful black stories. But I want to be that person, to show the kids and our communities, but it's possible to be that flower that grows in the concrete. Yeah, what would make Cape Town hip hop like more developing, right? We need to be polite with ourselves. We're living in a city where our OGs never made it. It's not gonna happen overnight. Yeah, bro. They had to crawl for us to run. We are running for others to actually fly.